Can you tell us about SkySails itself, the company, how it got started, and why is it in this business?
Yeah, sure. SkySails initially started in a different segment of wind energy, as we can say. SkySails started with so-called kite propulsion systems in the early 2000s of 2006, 2007, I guess what was. And typically these designs of kites, these first designs of kites, helped big cargo ships, tankers, container ships to get pulled over the oceans and reducing magnificent amounts of diesel fuel or bunker fuel, what's it typically do. Also reducing the emissions. These tankers contribute a lot when it comes to carbon emissions. And it was a consequence of logic, at least, to say, well, with this trend now to change to new or to more renewable energies, we have to find a way to get this energy concept transformed into a concept which we can use for power generation. Before it was just tugging a boat, tugging a ship, but now really to transform it into electricity. And that was the next big move, and a lot of people came on board who have the skills also to understand how works a kite, for example. When you speak with the software developers in the company, most of them are already kite surfers somehow. So they know how to transform it from the muscles to the brain into an algorithm for the software. And that is the uniqueness of this technology, to control it in a way that we can automate it and we can keep the system running by itself. That is the art of this technology.
So I guess in case some people are wondering, control is a key, because in the Philippines we have a monsoon season, we have a lot of typhoons. I suppose just like the ships you're talking about, when they go into bad weather, there's a way to keep the sails safe, is that right?
Exactly, we have to protect the kite. That is our precious generator at the end of the day. So we can operate these systems up to a wind speed of around 90 to 100 kilometers per hour. That is already storm size or low storm size. So what we do is, when we see by detecting the wind is coming up, wind is not suddenly big. It takes, it's going up quite smoothly. When we come to a certain threshold, the system does have to make the decision to pull in the kite and to protect it, to raft it and to wait until the wind conditions are more safe. Or if it is not too strong, we keep it in a certain level where the wind speed is lower.
I see.
And when the situation is getting better, we lift it again into the working area. Coming to typhoons, because we're facing a lot of typhoons here in the country, is a different story. The good thing of a typhoon is it's predictable. Well, we know already the track, we know where it is coming and when the typhoons have a landfall. And then we, before the typhoon comes into the country, we coil in the kite, and we designed a special typhoon shelter box where we bring in the kite, we close it, we wait until the typhoon passed by, then we open it again, and when the starting conditions is good, we can start producing energy. Also good for areas where maybe the traditional power supply is down because of flooding, or solar have been flown away. You still have here again a redundancy which gives you energy for the mission critical infrastructure.
Right, that's very interesting. Tell us about the people who started the company. I mean, were they into parasailing or something, or tell us how they came about.
That's an interesting story. Our CEO, Stefan, when he was a child, of course, he was playing also with the kites along the river Elbe, which is a river which is flowing
very famous,
along Hamburg. And he was at the beach and he was looking how it works, and he had fun with his kite. And then he saw these ships and he said, how I can transform this energy I feel now for the benefit of these ships. And that is how he started with the propulsion technology. And he drafted his first ideas, how it could look like. He made his first models just to play with it, how to see it works. And then more and more people came in and said, well, that is a good idea. We can really make a concept out of it. We can make a product out of it. And that's how they developed the kite systems, the propulsion technology. And over the years, when they get more and more data and experience what kind of material is usable, what kind of technology when it comes to the control of the system, that flew already into the first designs of the kites, which we are nowadays using for our electricity production.
And the company dates back to when?
2006, 2005, 2006, I think they started with the propulsion systems.
Okay.
And 2017, there was a move to look into electricity, power generation, which can be used worldwide, not just depending on the ship propulsion systems.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, just top of my mind, is it vulnerable to lightning, or what are some of the, besides the high,
Yeah.
wind strengths, what is it vulnerable to?
Well, we have, of course, we have to protect the system also in that regards. Not only the typhoon, it's also
Right.
lightnings. We are facing a lot of lightnings, not only in the Philippines, the whole tropical area face a lot of lightnings. We have technologies implemented that this will be grounded, that there is no damage to especially the electronics. I mean, the mechanical part doesn't matter, but everything where you have control pads, software, controllers, that is something we need to protect in a way that this does not get an impact.
Right. So, tell us, I mean, are you the only player in this field? I mean, obviously there are the turbines, and there are other technologies that are proposing to harness the wind. What has it been like for SkySails so far?
Very shortly, we are not the only one,
Okay.
but we are the AVE system, the AWE system with the highest capacity.
Okay.
There is nobody in the market so far who can produce 200 kilowatts.
Okay.
The other companies working in that segment, and I do not say competitors because we work all very close together.
I said it can be a redundancy, right?
We share also our experience because it's a new technology.
Okay.
So we are eager to learn also from our. I will not use the term competitors, from the other companies who are developing this kind of technology, because we see the huge potential of that. There is a huge potential of that. There are a couple of companies. You can see that in the internet. You can find it online. But they are in a size of maximum 50 kilowatts. Is the next one behind us. So 200 kilowatts, and as I said, in the future, talking about 1 megawatt, that is definitely a power class.
Right.
Other companies need some time to reach that.
But in that area, the 200 kilowatts, you're the only player.
The only one, yes.
I see.
The only one.
Now, what brought you to the Philippines? Because obviously there are many countries in our region. Is there, or are you selling to all of these? Or I was just wondering if there was anything in particular that drew you here.
No. A very good question, because of course we made a kind of due diligence first to see which are the perfect locations where we can start launching such kind of system. And we checked, I think, more than 160 countries in that regards with a checklist, and Philippines at the end was in a pole position when we are looking into the APAC segment, right? Okay. Why? The first thing is you have wind, which is a precondition for our systems, especially when we look into the northern part, Ilocos Norte, the outlying islands. So you can say down to Negros, you have quite good wind conditions where it makes sense to think about a SkySail power kite. The second thing is the ease of communication. Okay. Because we are speaking now English. Very easy. I can go everywhere in this country and I can communicate in English. That makes it interesting for these foreign companies to look into this country. The third thing is the need of energy. Okay. We have still 600 islands not electrified, so we are speaking about 600,000, 650,000 people who have no access to electricity right now. That is another thing. And the last thing which was important for us is the price of electricity. We want to really help to come down with the price, especially in the remote areas, because at that point of time we cannot really compete with the traditional wind energy industry.
Is there anything that maybe you'd like to see from government now? I mean, that would make it, easier for you. We are now that you're here. Yeah. Well, we eagerly are looking for a pilot project here in the country. We have a lot of interesting discussions, but especially the first one should be a project where we need the support from the government to ease the
the way of process we have, the red ribbon stuff, to really come quickly to that point that we bring in a kite to demonstrate the system, that it works, that you really can generate, that it is a reliable system with high quality components, and that can be a solution for this country.
All right, very interesting. Well, I hope that you're successful and that maybe within the next year we'll see a working prototype. But Nico, before we go, maybe you'd like to leave a message to our audience?
Yes, as I said, I would like to have really discussions with people who are in developing projects right now that can also be a standard hybrid system, a mini-grid, a microgrid system, where we can talk about, is it possible maybe to bring in a kite as an additional component from the public, from the government side, to really have discussions, how can we help remote areas to speed up in electrifying these areas with our technology, or in a combination with a solar or hydro system, to show and to demonstrate it works. And it would be very helpful when they can pave the way for us to make it more easy and more fast.
Right, and if people want to reach you, do you have a website, or how do they find you? Do they go to the German embassy or the Swiss embassy, I guess?
Yeah, no. You can go through my contact details. I can provide that.
Okay. Is there a website that people can visit?
It will come soon.
Okay.
We are developing that right now, and people can contact me personally by my email and my telephone number. Hopefully, you can display that.
All right. Yeah. Well, Nico, it's been very nice talking to you.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank everyone watching this program, those watching live and those watching the replay. I'd like to thank Pastor Apollo Kibuloy for making this program possible. This has been Business and Politics, and I will see you next week.